And let's see. Bear with me here. I'm not very tech savvy. So let me see. All right, does this show to you all like a slideshow, like PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Right. It does? Okay. So the really cool thing about this was as I'm going through the Coach Online office and I'm going under marketing tools and then challenge groups and then Shakeology, there is a plethora of information. So there's Shakeology videos, there's breakdowns of the ingredients, there's basically kind of like a newsletter about Shakeology that I've sent to people before. And I always tell coaches, like, less is more. But there's some people that are very, they want all the details and they want all the information, or, you know, they're just not sure about it, or they say, let me do some research about it. So this is something that would be, you know, some tools that would really be nice to send to some people. And I think it's really important, even though you don't want to give all the details, you want to know your stuff. Like, you want to know about the product that you're offering people, because that builds confidence. And when you're confident in something, then it's easier for you to talk about it. And that goes, I think, with your daily life and with your daily job. Once you become confident in your job and you start talking about it, it just kind of flows out. So we want you to feel that way about Shakeology too. And the great thing is that, you know, we all use it, so we all know what the effects are on our own body. And then we get to read on our team page and in challenge groups how it's affecting other people. I mean, just like today, one of the girls posted about giving it to her 3-year-old son and how he loved it and how he was having all these other issues and now he's more regular. I mean, just things like that are stories that we can share to people that are pretty powerful, where you don't have to get into like the nitty-gritty details of like all 70 ingredients that are in Shakeology. But one of the most important things that I tell people with Shakeology is that it's one of the cleanest shakes that I have ever seen, because you know, with my diet, we're about 75% organic. And so it's really important to me to have something clean. Chris used to drink protein drinks, and I was like, that stuff is garbage. I would never put that in my body. And I stressed for a long time drinking about becoming a coach, because I didn't want to drink Shakeology until I did my research, until I learned more about it, until I, you know, kind of dug into everything and realized that this is a really great product, that a lot of other products aren't like this. So I like to research other shakes. I like to research Body by V. I like to research Advocare. So that way when people tell me they are doing something else, I can almost kind of dispute it and say, well, you know, I really want you to look into this ingredient, or, you know, this is what I found out about, you know, your Advocare or your Body by V. Like, Body by V is horrible. It has like a ton of garbage in it. Same with Advocare. So it's just nice to kind of be informed about things, because that way you're prepared. Like, when somebody kind of disputes what you're saying with Shakeology, and not that you want to get in a knockdown, drag out debate about it. It's always the most important thing to say is, you know, this is what it's done for me, and this is how it's made me feel, and it works, and I like it. And, you know, it's always nice to kind of back up your own research with it too, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and start a little slideshow. All right, so we're going to kind of talk about information trends on the slide edge effect. What is Shakeology? How does it work? What makes it so ultra premium? The creators, Shakeology elevator pitch, and tools and programs available to build your business. All right, so the beginning of this slideshow just kind of throws out some information about trends that we're noticing. And of course, it points out childhood obesity rates have tripled in the last 3 years. And it just talks about, you know, not only us as adults is it affecting us, but it's affecting the kids. And so it's really a growing epidemic that over time, these kids are going to increase their rates for diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, and asthma. And I think that's the most important thing, you know, when it comes to us being coaches, is not really getting people to lose weight, but getting them to be healthy for this reason, not just for them, but for their family. So when I post, that's what I focus on. And when I invite people to do a challenge, that's what I focus on. So I never feel like I'm putting somebody down because I'm inviting them to do a challenge group. Like, I never feel like I'm telling them that they're fat, because I'm not doing that. I'm telling them that I want them to get healthy, or at least learn a little more about it. So I have no issue with inviting people to do a challenge group for that reason. Okay, so again, it kind of talks about basically our addiction to junk food, or in other words, our addiction to sugar. And it just kind of talks about some of the studies. And then again, it kind of talks about America has a nutrition health crisis, about us being addicted to bad foods. And experts now project that an entire generation of kids may die 20 years earlier than their parents because of the disease called by overweight. So again, this is still, you know, going back to family health, and why what we do as coaches is so important. Happening because we don't eat healthy. Food is less nutritious. So this is something that when I first became a coach, and my coach Brooke, I at first wasn't wanting to try Shakeology, because again, I told you I was very against protein drinks or anything like that, because I didn't do my research first. I just decided I want to be a coach because I thought it was cool. But one of the big things is that, you know, our industrial agriculture is degrading their nutritional quality.
Soil, you know, really.
Your chemicals and your fertilizers added and toxins to your plants, and then the soil depletion causes nutrition and mineral deficiency. Hey, if everybody can kind of mute their mic for a second, there's a lot of background noise. Just because I'm recording it too. Anybody know how to mute their mic? I might be able to do it for you. Oh shoot. Let me go away. Can you guys still see it? Thumbs up? Okay. I'm going to mute one more mic. All right, guys. Hey, Debbie. Debbie Kinney, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. All right, can you guys still see this? Sheila, can you see it? Okay, perfect. So one of the biggest things when I became a coach, and Brooke kind of told me, because I said, well, I already have a healthy diet. Like, I eat really healthy. I don't really feel like I need to supplement my diet. And Chris, who's always told me that I need to take vitamins, and I've never taken vitamins, not because I didn't believe in them, but because I have a really hard time swallowing pills. It's like such a mental thing with me. And I kind of refused to take the gummy vitamins because the gummy vitamins have so much crap and toxins in it. I just didn't take anything. And I thought that, you know, I juiced, and I thought, you know, my diet was sufficient enough. But one of the things that Brooke mentioned to me, she's like, you know, the soil is so depleted of nutrition anymore. Like, everybody has to supplement their diet in some shape or form. So that really kind of hit home to me. And for anybody who says, well, you know, I nourish my body with whole foods. Well, so do I. But whole foods anymore are not enough. Okay. Okay, we are overfed and undernourished. And this just kind of talks about the slide edge effect. You can trace every sickness, every disease, and every element to a mineral deficiency. You want to talk about this part?
Okay. So again, with the slight heads up, was from a Nobel Peace Prize winning doctor. But when you're mineral deficient, you're nutrient deficient, it's going to lead, slowly to several problems, including digestive health, with IBS, colitis. I actually have a girl right now that I'm working with that has IBS, and we're hoping that Shakeology forward her an article from Shea Stanford, talking about IBS and what Shakeology can do for that. Weight gain, obviously, obesity. I mean, if you just look at pretty much anything you're getting, from the grocery, just look at the amount of chemicals and stuff that you're getting. I mean, it's staggering, the soda aisles, everything. Mental imbalances, anxiety, depression. We've had challengers and known of other coaches who were on antidepressants and stuff like that, who once they started doing this and this was their lifestyle, I mean, it's really changed their life. They're no longer on their depression medicine or anxiety medicine. Inflammation, I felt that a lot. When I started this, my knee has always plagued me. So I used to run a lot, and I had a lot of inflammation in my knee. So once I started Shakeology, that was one of the first things that I saw. Wasn't, feeling that inflammation in my knee and my joints, and it's a combination of both eating clean on the 21-day fix and drinking Shakeology too. So.
And there's another coach that would be really great to talk to if anybody asks about inflammation, and that's Kendra Darling. Before we started this program, I was literally her last resort. She's like, I'm either going to have surgery because she had bilateral plantar fasciitis, and it was causing such inflammation and such pain for her that she's like, I'm like, this is my last resort. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to have surgery. And I mean, she ended up dropping, I don't know what she dropped her first round. I think like 15 pounds or something like that. But now she's up to over 60 pounds. She never had surgery. She feels so much better. I mean, it's just a huge difference in just by, again, eating right and Shakeology. I mean, she is such a firm believer in Shakeology. She's really a great person to talk to if you ever have anybody that has issues with inflammation and want to know if this works.
And then, again, premature aging, back to joints, your skin, when you're getting the right nutrients, you're drinking lots of water, you're going to see major improvements. That's your body's biggest organ is your skin. So, that's one thing you will actually radiate and look younger when you're getting the right stuff in your body. So you don't even need Nerium if you're eating right.
I use that.
I'm just kidding.
It's funny though, because and not to hate on Nerium, because I have friends that sell Nerium, but it's funny though, because they'll show like that Nerium firm, and they'll show like somebody using Nerium firm after 8 weeks. And I'm like, dude, they've lost weight too. Like, I don't know, maybe it did firm it up. But to me, when I look at those before and after pictures, I see weight loss. And I know there's not any lotion that you can rub on your stomach that's going to give you weight loss. Not. Okay, so I'm not going to go over every single one of these points, but this is things that we hear from challengers all the time. They have digestive problems. They have a lack of energy. They're stressed. They're moody. They have an addiction to caffeine or sugar. They're fatigued. They're depressed. They have joint pain. They're not sleeping well. A lot of this stuff is it's all due to their diet and their nutrition and their lack of nutrition. So this is just things that I feel like we hear all the time when we talk to somebody, we ask them, when we start to develop that relationship, when we start to ask them, what's their obstacles? How do they feel? Why do they want to lose weight? Or why do they want to get healthy? I love asking that question anymore because it really developed me as a coach. I learned so much from them. I learned that, people didn't want to just lose weight. They wanted to go outside and play with their kids. They wanted to sleep better at night. They wanted to feel energy again. They wanted to not be so, grouchy all the time. So it's really a cool question when you guys start to develop those relationships with your challengers to find out why do they even want to start this? Because it may be way more than I just want to lose 30 pounds or whatever. It usually is. Okay, so what is Shakeology? It's more than a protein drink because so many people say, you know, what is this protein drink? It's so much more than a protein drink. I don't even call it, I call it a superfood shake anymore. If you guys ever see my posts, that's what I call it. It's more than a meal replacement. It's way more than meal replacement. I tell people I treat this as my vitamin. I don't take vitamins. This is my vitamin. This is what I take. And always consult with a doctor, but with people who are even pregnant, and there's a ton of pregnant coaches out there that use Shakeology as their prenatal vitamin, and they take an additional vitamin for folic acid. So always consult with your doctor about that. And if anybody ever asks you that, I usually tell them, you know, there's other coaches out there that use this. I kind of give them that same spill, but then I remind them to consult with their doctor because we're not physicians. It's more than an antioxidant drink. It's more than probiotics. These are the smartest calories you can put in your body. You know, so when somebody asks you what Shakeology is, I would really tell them what you feel it has done for you and explain to them why it's not a protein drink and why it's not just a meal replacement drink, because those are the two questions I think we get the most when they start thinking about Shakeology.
You know, I think people are skeptical, you know, and we were too. I mean, and that's why we, you know, researched and read. But, you know, really until like that first time, you know, I started drinking it. I mean, after those, you know, first few weeks, I mean, I was noticing, I really wasn't changing my diet or anything like that, but I was just drinking the shakes. And after, you know, the first month, I lost, 15 pounds or something like that. And I felt better. You know, I was working, I could immediately tell that month a difference in my knee and just, you know, just the way I felt overall. But I think people are, you know, kind of skeptic, you know, so the more that you can tell them about what it's done for you and others and educate them, I mean, I just think that's, you know, and the information's out there. You Google it, you know, the information's out there.
And on the Coach Online office too, and just asking our team page if you need an opinion about something specific. But one of the things that I get when I get my Shakeology is I get packs. So, you know, it talks about the tastiest superfood protein shake on the planet. Like literally, I don't know how many people have told me that they've tried other shakes. I know, you know, again, I go back to Advocare and Body by V, but they'll tell me how much more they like Shakeology. If you ever have somebody, because it's really neat, I had a patient who actually was a Beachbody coach, and we were talking about Shakeology, and she said, I'm super picky. And she's like, you know, even Shakeology, I love it, but I have to drink it with a frozen banana. That's how she gets past any kind of texture issues. She blends it up with a frozen banana. So if you have somebody who has any kind of texture issues, I would suggest that. Another thing is the vanilla. The vanilla does sometimes give you an aftertaste. And what I've noticed is I've had vanilla with just water, and basically I had it with mixed up with water, banana, peanut butter, and no almond milk. And I had an aftertaste. That's because you can taste the sweetener in vanilla. It's not masked enough. But if I added almond milk to it, I didn't have that aftertaste at all. So if anybody ever talks about having aftertaste with vanilla, suggest that they add more almond milk to it. That's what I noticed. Greenberry is another flavor. You know, we got chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, greenberry. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I never suggest greenberry to anybody. I've had it once and I didn't like it at all. Actually, I had it another time when we went to Nashville, and it was okay. It's real fruity. Truthfully, vanilla and chocolate is what I suggest to people, but I do let them know that there's strawberry, and I actually don't even let them know there's greenberry because I don't like it. But there's other coaches that love greenberry. I just haven't had very many that I've came across that actually like it.
It's like good every once in a while, you know, there's some good recipes in it, but it's nothing I would want to drink for 30 days.
Yeah. Okay. What is Shakeology? It can help you increase energy, reduce cravings, lose weight, and improve digestion. Okay. So one of the things I always point out to people, it's as nutritious as a salad, but it tastes like a dessert. how does it work? You want to talk?
All right. So, I mean, it's just a very, very potent, vitamin therapy system, all from Whole Foods. And I mean, Darren O'Lean, you can get on the coach wake up call tomorrow. I mean, that's what the focus is going to be on, Shakeology and some of the boosters. But this is the guy that literally travels the world to find some of these things that have been used by these societies and civilizations for centuries upon centuries. I mean, he's going to the jungles in Peru and stuff like that and searching out these roots that they've used that, I mean, if you look at the life expectancy of these people, that is what he's searching out. He's researching all these civilizations that have, with their life expectancies in the 90s and stuff like that, and seeing what they're doing because, if you trace back all our medications, essentially they're tied back to some form of, plant-based, medicine, essentially. And, you look at these civilizations, what they're using, I mean, that's the core of it, that's the base of it. But it's, the way that it's all pieced together and compartmentalized, I mean, it's just designed to all work together, and totally fuels your body and it gives your body balance and exactly what it needs.
All right, what makes Shakeology ultra premium? So like I already just talked about, being a potent vitamin, derived from whole foods. It's also derived from exotic superfoods from around the world. And it's really neat if you go into Coach Online Office, and you go under marketing tools, then go under challenge groups, and then go under Shakeology. You will find the video that Darren O'Lean, and I think you probably even Google it on YouTube, where does Shakeology come from, Darren O'Lean, and you can sit and watch him kind of traveling around places. But they don't call Shakeology organic, but a lot of the things that they are getting everything from is organic. It's just not, like, it takes a lot to actually get the organic seal. And as I've focused on switching our diet over to being organic since we had Reese, one thing that I learned is it's really difficult to actually get that seal of approval to be organic. So, they are going all around the world and to exotic places that are growing things organic, but they don't necessarily have that official seal on everything. So I thought that was really cool when I watched the video to find out that a lot of the things that they were using were organic. No artificial sweeteners, flavors, colors, or preservatives. Another thing, if you guys listen to Shay Stanford's call, the National Wake Up Call, and if you go to podcasts and you go back, I think she did it in March? Mm-hmm. You can go back and listen to the recording. It's an amazing call. I took notes. I learned a lot. I use it when I talk to people about Shakeology. It's super informative, but the things that you want to know if somebody talks about another shake is you want them to find out if there's anything artificial in it. Sweetener, flavor, colors. Is there any preservatives? Is there sucralose, one thing that is a cancer-causing agent that you'll find in a ton of stuff, and a lot of other shakes. And then soy and soy lecithin is another thing that, we recently discovered is horrible in your diet. And you're not going to find very much soy that's not genetically modified. And genetically modified means it's created in a lab. It's not even real food. So, and if you ever do research on GMO, it's like one of the biggest cancer-causing things. So obviously you don't want to ingest it. You don't want to be trusting you're taking this healthy shake that has things that are GMO in it.
Yeah, I mean, I was guilty of buying my protein from Walmart, for $20, and well, you're getting $20 worth of stuff. There's a reason the Shakeology costs what it costs. I mean, like I said, if you watch that video with Darren O'Lean, I mean, you'll see where he's going, where he's getting this stuff. I mean, it takes a lot to get the best stuff. And I mean, I was taking Shakeology vitamins and spending, probably $80 to $100 a month when I was taking all my vitamins, and I would just take, 10 vitamins at a time, and they're really good quality vitamins. But I mean, this tastes a lot better. And like I said, she couldn't take the vitamins, so it's really, you're not going to find anything like it total package.
But if you think about cost and you think about like for ladies, buying a Coach purse or buying a generic purse. I mean, I'm guilty of buying a generic Coach purse for sure. I've done it. And what happens? The thread comes apart. It falls apart. It gets holes in it. The zipper breaks. It's crappy. It's not high quality. if you would have bought the nice Coach purse that was expensive, it would have lasted you so much longer. But no, you wanted to save money and you wanted to buy the crappy purse that the stitchings come out of it, the zipper's broke now. So it's kind of the same thing with Shakeology. If you're going to buy the crappy shake, it's not going to do your body justice. It's going, to break you down. Sorry, I was reading something that popped up. It's going to break you down. And, if you're putting something high quality in you, then, obviously it's going to be better for your body. So, I use that example sometimes too when somebody asks me about a generic. Well, I go and I buy this at Walmart or I buy this at GNC. And so I make that point to them. Okay. And then it's certified low glycemic. And then, of course, there's vegan. Do you guys know that there's vegan Shakeology? There's vegan chocolate and vegan strawberry. Okay. Can you guys still see this PowerPoint?
Yep.
Perfect. So, I don't know. Do you want to go into that?
Well, we don't have a lot of time, but if you, I just, for instance, tonight just Googled some of these, some of these superfoods and, where they're coming from, where it's getting from. The camu is really good for your skin, your gums. The sacha inchi is, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's an omega-3 rich in protein. The yakin root is really good for weight loss. If you just go and educate yourself on some of these ingredients on there, you could learn one a day and make that a post. You could take that and do that, every day for however long, and just educate people. But I won't spend too much time on that. So.
And there's 70 ingredients. And you don't want to vomit all this information onto people.
Right.
Because it's just not important. You just really need to be explaining to them what it's done for you. This is still recording. Sorry, let me check something really quick. Oh, wow. Okay, sorry. Okay. Here's proof from nearly 3,000 daily Shakeology drinkers. So it makes you feel better. It increases your energy. It reduces your cravings. It improves your regularity. It keeps them feeling full until their next meal. That is so true, because anytime I have a shake, I am like stuffed. Am I stuffed for hours? No, I'm stuffed for about 2 to 3 hours. And that's how often people should be eating, is every 2 to 3 hours. So don't let somebody think, or say they come to you and they're like, well, I had it for lunch and I was starving by dinner time. Well, yeah, if you have it at noon, you have dinner at 6 o'clock. Well, that's not what it's meant for. It's meant to be as a meal replacement, but that is on a 21-day fixed diet where you're eating about every 2 to 3 hours. So if you want to use Shakeology for your lunch, you need to still be having a snack and then having dinner. And then again, it's kind of breakfast, snack, Shakeology, snack, dinner. That's how you're supposed to be eating. But people are so uneducated about that, that I think the important thing is to kind of explain to them that, if you're only eating 3 times a day and that's all you're doing, then you're putting your body in starvation mode. We all know if we wait from noon until 6 o'clock to eat, we're starving. Our belly is growling. At that point, your body is now in starvation mode. You're no longer burning any fat. You're doing nothing but storing it. And you're not going to lose any weight that way. And so people are embedded in their brain that if they don't eat and they eat less calories, they're going to lose weight, but they're not. It's really just causing them to store fat. So that's one important point that I always make with Shakeology. If somebody says, well, I couldn't, I did it for lunch, but I was starving my dinner. Well, it only holds you over 2 to 3 hours, and that's how any meal should be.
Your metabolism's like a fire, and you have to keep stoking that fire to keep it burning hot. That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah. So it makes you improve digestion, more alert and focused, improved in their mood, smart investment for their health. Every ingredient goes through rigorous certification and testing to ensure potent nutrition concentration. And here's all these doctor guys that approve it. And then here's your 2 creators, Darren Orlean and Isabel Deichler, which I think is actually Carl Deichler's wife, right? So here's your elevator pitch. And I don't know if I can read this. Oh, there we go. It's like a protein shake, but it's so much more. It's the most delicious, nutrient-dense shake that's made. Really, I don't think I would ever say this to somebody because I really think it's kind of, it's just not me. So if you guys want to use this, you can. But really, I would speak to how you feel and what it's done for you.
I mean, but I do. I don't say this word for word, but I mean, it does those things for me. I mean, it has increased energy and digestion. It reduces cravings because I like sweets. So, I like to have my shake and curb those.
Well, I think you could probably take this paragraph and elaborate on it and fit it to your story too. Yeah. Okay, wear and share. So, wear and share is so super important. And when I first became a coach, that was one thing they always talked about to me, was wear and share. And so getting your Shakeology cup is big. And then, making sure, not just with Shakeology, but anytime you complete a program, make sure you fill out and submit your results and get that dang free t-shirt. You worked for it, get it, wear it, because people will ask you about it. So there is Shakeology wear and share that you can actually purchase from the site, and I bought some when I was at Summit. But your Shakeology shaker cup, that is the biggest thing. I mean, how many have you all taken your Shakeology shaker cup into work or wherever and somebody's asked you about it? So I think that we have like what, 3 or 4 Shakeology shaker cups. And then this just talks about your social media tools. There's actually, Shakeology is on Facebook. And it says they create daily posts that you can actually share. I don't ever share any of things from Facebook because I like to create my own post. I think that's important. But it's good to go on there and read what they have to say. So again, it's educating yourself and giving you something more to share with people. And then of course the Shakeology.com. There's success stories, recipes. You can go through and read blogs. YouTube, there's an abundance of information on YouTube. The What is Shakeology video, and then there's another one where Tony Horton kind of goes through all the ingredients that it would take for you to buy to actually get what Shakeology gives you. Shakeology tools, I've actually never gotten any of these like to pass out besides getting the packets. I do use the packets because I do hand those out. Not very often. I'm really stingy with handing out my Shakeology packets because I pay for them. So, if I know somebody's interested but they're very hesitant because they want to try it first, then that's when I'll mail them a Shakeology sample, or I'll have them stop by my work and pick it up. But otherwise, I'm kind of stingy with it, so it all depends on the person. Shakeology plus fitness, benefits of home direct. Okay, so being on home direct is huge because majority of people will stay on home direct or they'll delay it. So maybe they won't get it every month, but they'll get it every other month. You get that super discounted shipping. It's $2 instead of $15.95. If they aren't on home direct, I always tell them, even though you don't want to stay on Shakeology or you may not want to be on it next month, order it this way because you're going to get $2 shipping. And if you want, you can turn around and cancel it the next day, or you can delay your shipment. You're still going to get that discounted shipping. It's the Ferrari of shakes. So just like I said, it's like that actual Coach first instead of buying the crappy fake one. And that's it. And we have like less than a minute. Did anybody have questions? I can open up another Zoom chat if anybody does have questions. Somebody have a question? You're cutting out. I can't hear who it is.
I'm going to type it on the team page.
If you have a question, I can open up another chat, or if you want to message me or type it on the team page, I can answer it there because this will end in like seconds. Does anybody want to open up another Zoom call for questions? No? Everybody good?
I'm good.
All right. I see thumbs. All right. Well, if you guys have any questions, just type it on